What's up everybody, how you guys doing? Afiq here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for this video, I have this, another iconic sedan from the land of the rising sun. None other than the Toyota Crown. So this specific model is the Toyota Crown Athlete. Without further ado, let's check out this car, and this is ABB Automotive. Okay, so here in front of the Toyota Crown Athlete, so the Toyota Crown, this particular model is called the S210, okay? So this particular model is sold in Japan from 2012 until 2018. Now in 2016, it received a facelift. So the face that you see here is the facelift Crown Athlete. So the Crown Athlete Crown in general has two other versions, which is Crown Royale and Crown Majesta, sorry. So the Majesta and the Royal has a slightly different front end, more chrome and more luxurious looking, whereas this Crown Athlete is the more sportier look of the range, okay? So looking at the car itself, as you can see, it has a very big and prominent front grille. From the top of the hood all the way down, it's one big feature and very prominent. I do like the details on the grille as well as the chrome surrounding the grille. So lower down, this car, the owner has did some wrap on it, you know, like black and white. So the car is white with black wrap, okay? So very tastefully done. It does give the car a visual appeal, okay? And then towards the top, the headlight, I do like the design, it's very aggressive. There's LED daytime running light, LED low beam, and then towards the bottom part of the headlight, you do have some headlight washers. So overall, for the Crown Athlete, I do like how this face looks. It's like a combination of a little bit of sporty as well as elegant. Going back to the grille just now, I forgot to mention that as you can see, there is this very big Crown logo in the middle, and it is being covered by this glass piece. So this glass piece is the radar for the ADAS system. So the Toyota Crown Athlete is equipped with autonomous emergency braking and all your ADAS features, okay? So overall, the front end of the Toyota Crown Athlete in particular, yeah, I like it. It's very sporty and very nice looking in my opinion. Very macho as well. Okay, so here under the engine of the Toyota Crown, so specifically for the Crown Athlete, it is available with this new 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. So this engine, which is codenamed the 8AR FTS, is also available in the Lexus NX 200T as well as the Lexus IS 200T. So for horsepower and figures, so this car, this engine in particular makes around 242 horsepower with 350 Newton meters of torque. So all that power is sent through the rear wheel via a 8-speed automatic transmission. So the Crown range is available with a few engine choices. Another engine choices that is available is a 2.5 V6 as well as a 3.5 V6. There is also a 3.5 V6 hybrid version, which we don't usually get here in Malaysia. So power figure for this car is not a lot, but it is sufficient for this class of vehicle. Okay, so here at the side of the Toyota Crown Athlete, I've got to say that upon looking this car the first time, I think this car is very long. Speaking of length, like I think it's even longer than a Toyota Camry. So I think this Toyota Crown sits in the full-size category sedan. Okay, so and then looking at the profile of this car, you can tell that this car is rear-wheel drive thanks to the very long hood and a slightly shorter rear deck. So the overall profile of this car just shouts rear-wheel drive. Okay, so in terms of details, this car has a lot of chrome touches. Okay, so you have a lot of chrome around the window sill, okay, both from the upper and the lower part of the window sill. The side mirror as well, it has a chrome strip as well as on the door handle. Now speaking on the door handle, this car has a keyless entry system, so press there. It folds the side mirror when you lock. Okay, so not only that, even the rear door as well has what do you call it, keyless entry. So it unlocks the car. Okay, so because this car is the Crown Athlete, it does come with a body kit down below, nice skirting. Okay, and then towards the back, towards the top, you do have a very subtle shark fin antenna. Now the one thing I like as well about the Toyota Crown is the Crown logo. So the Crown logo on this car, which is on the C-pillar, which is quite a thick C-pillar, I must say. I do love the detail of the Crown. So the Crown, it looks 3D, but if you touch it, it's actually quite smooth. Okay, so the Crown is inside the, what do you call that, the cover. So yeah, quite a nice and detailed badge if you ask me. Now another two things I want to mention about this car is that, as you can see, the owner of this car has wrapped the top part of his car. So he has that two-tone white with black top. I don't see many Crown doing this, but I'm glad that the owner did this to his car. So it really makes his Crown stand out among all the other sedan. You know, that two-tone sedan, two-tone look to the car, so it's actually quite nice. Now, another thing that lastly I want to mention is that if you look at the car itself, it is very simple. The design is very simple. You have this one simple straight line that runs the length of the vehicle, and then towards the other part of the car, you don't see much character line. So overall, it just gives this sort of like simplicity look, which is quite refreshing. Okay, so the Toyota Crown in Japan, depending on the trim level you get different size and different design of rim. But the biggest size of rim is on this Crown Athlete. Okay, so the Crown Athlete here, it features 18 inches of size rim, and the finish on this rim is quite nice. It's sort of like a dark chrome finish. Okay, and then it is a very aggressive 10 twin spoke design, which, as you can see, I think it fits the overall look of the car, especially the Athlete variant, because there's a sporty variant. I do like how this rim looks. It looks very elegant, very sporty. It looks expensive, but I think it might be hard to clean because with all the spoke. Now, in terms of tires, the owner has wrapped the rims of this car with very nice tire. It's a Michelin PS4 or Pilot Sport 4. So as you know, that is a very good summer performance tire. Very sticky, and I think it's fitting for this car. Okay, so here in the back end of the Toyota Crown, so being the Crown Athlete, just as I mentioned at the side, it comes with a rear body kit. Okay, so the back end of the Toyota Crown, I do love this circular light detail. It is inside this bigger tail lamp housing. I don't know, like the back end, it's simple, yet it is super sophisticated, if you get what I mean. There is a sense of thoughtful design that's being put here, but in a more simple manner. Okay, so towards the bottom part, you do have a little bit of a diffuser going on, and then you have the dual exhaust tip, which is finished in chrome. Okay, you also has a little bit of chrome finishing around the number plate housing. So this car, being a full-size sedan, trunk space is quite big for this car. So popping off the trunk. Now the one thing that I'm quite sad is that it doesn't come with automatic tailgate, which at a car of this price point, I wish it has. But nonetheless, opening up the trunk. Now the first thing I like is that it's using this more modern strut type hinges, not that goose neck type hinges. So when you close the trunk, you won't squeeze anything that's inside your trunk. Now speaking of trunk, it is quite deep and quite what do you call that, The depth is very deep. Okay, so yeah, nice shape. Okay, still a quite practical car. Now closing the trunk, this car does come with the self-locking mechanism. So you just close the trunk slightly. Okay, it will lock itself up. The airtight system will lock it up. So yeah, the back end of the Toyota Crown, it is simple, but it's somewhat sophisticated as well, you know. So I do like the back end. It's very nice. So yeah, inside the Toyota Crown Athlete, when you get in, when you push the start button, it creates that welcoming, elegant charm, which I just love. It just makes you feel like you're stepping in something special. My, it's a very luxurious place to be in, depending on what crown you get from Japan. So with the Athlete variant, you have this sort of like dark sporty trim going on. Leather seats, okay, black leather seats, as well as black dashboard. The dashboard itself, the top part of the material is soft touch. On the dashboard itself, you do have leather. Okay, this part is also soft touch. The center console, it has this sort of like wood, but shiny wood, you know, shiny wood trim, and then with chrome as well. Okay, so in front of me, very nice steering wheel with the Crown logo in the middle. You have cruise control. Now the steering has tilt and telescopic adjustment electronically, which I am just, oh my god, like, so it's so nice, like it's so convenient. And just now when you realize when I start the car, this car has memory seat as well as memory for the adjustment of the steering wheel. So when you off the car, the steering will retract, and then the chair will push back, and then when you go into the car, you start, the steering will come to you and the seat will move forward following your last memory setup, okay, which is a very premium thing. The rest of the car, the one thing that I want to highlight the most is this center console area. It is very elegant, very nice. Okay, you have two screens. Okay, you have one at the top and then one at the bottom. Both are touch screen. So the bottom part controls your air conditioning, your driver's mode, and then all the blinds in the car. So this car has a rear blind for the side window as well as the rear window. So more on that later on. I do love the wood accent on the what do you call that, on the dashboard as well as on the center console. Very nice, very elegant. And then the center console over here, it is very wide, and the top part is soft touch. Okay, so it's very nice to put your elbow on, and it can open both from the passenger side as well as the driver side. So yeah, it's very nice, very convenient. Looking up top, there's no sunroof, so this particular model did not come with a sunroof. You do have a monochromatic rear view mirror. Okay, all the map lighting is LED, which is quite modern. You do have a nice glass holder up there. Okay, towards the side, soft touch material, the same wood accent, very nice armrest towards the side, very soft leather wrap. Okay, power window on all four doors, so all four doors is automatic power window. Now the one thing I like is that the aircon vents on this car, and this is like the only car that I know so far that has automatic moving air vent. So this type of feature is usually like I've seen on air conditioning inside your house. Most modern car will not have this rotating, you know, what do you call that, movable air vent. So I know the Crown has it for a while now, and my oh my, when I first get into this car, I was a little bit like, you know, hyped for it. It just looks so cool, and I wish more car has this feature. Looking in front of me, the screen, the tachometer is on the left, and then the speedometer is on the right. It's a little bit plain for my liking. It's just black with sort of like white background lighting. It is very clear, the font is very big, but again, everything is in Japanese, so there is some learning curve to it. So you do have a pair of paddle shifter to control your 8-speed automatic transmission. Nice feeling. It's sort of like clean matte look to it. It's dark in color. The chair is also power electronic, both for the driver's side as well as passenger side, and then you have a lot of adjustment to it. So trying to find your perfect driving position is almost like spot on in this car. Yeah. So overall, at the front here inside the Toyota Crown Athlete, I feel special, I feel expensive, I feel sophisticated, and yeah, I am loving in this position so far. Okay, so looking into more detail about the center console, because there's a lot to unpack here. So like I mentioned before, it has dual screen. So the top screen acts as your infotainment system. So the screen is actually quite big for what it is, and you do have Apple CarPlay, but my phone is not connected right now. The response is okay, it's not the fastest in the world. There is a little bit of lag, I noticed. Music, yeah, so going over. So the response is decent, but I do notice a little bit of lag. Okay, so this screen also doubles as the rear backup camera. So if I put in the car into reverse, so this car is equipped with 360-degree camera, which is quite nice. The one thing that I like is that the 360-degree camera, there's no stitching, so it's just one continuous image around the car, and the resolution is decent, but not the most sharp I've seen, but again, not the worst resolution I've seen in a car. I've seen a much worse resolution for the 360 camera. Okay, so this one is actually quite decent, right? So going down on the second touchscreen, so this is the control panel for your air conditioning as well as the driver's mode for the car. So everything is in Japanese, so there is a little bit of learning curve to it. When you press the button on the left, so this goes to your driver's mode setting. So you have Sport, Eco, Normal, Eco, as well as Snow. But in Malaysia, we don't have snow, so there's no point of the snow mode. Okay, so in Eco mode, it dulls the acceleration, and then in normal mode, you have normal acceleration as well as normal suspension setup. In Sport mode, it sharpens the throttle response, holds the gear, as well as make the suspension stiffer. So it stiffens the suspension, so it makes the car more tight around the corners, okay, handling wise, right? So everything is in Japanese. You do have set up for your front and rear parking sensors, your blind spot monitoring, and then you do have a button over here to, what do you call that, lower down your rear blind as well as roll up your rear blind. Now the one thing I like about this system is the sound it makes every time I press something. It reminds me of like that arcade Tekken game, you know, the fighting Japanese game. Every time when you select a character, it just makes the same sound, you know. But it makes sense, this car is from Japan, and most of those fighting game is from Japan, right? So yeah, I would say the response of the lower screen is a tad better compared to the upper screen. Like the upper screen, I'm really noticing like a little bit of lag. There is some lag up here, but it's decent. Graphic is nice, color is vivid. And when you first start the car, it gives this welcome graphic based on the season that is in Japan. So that is quite funny to me and quite interesting. Like when you start the car, you see some flowers, it's spring now in Japan. And if you start the car and then you see maybe snow, it is currently the winter season in Japan. This is like very, very interesting, and I do love it. It's very gimmicky. I know you don't really need it, but it does increase the visual appeal. Okay, so yeah, you do have a big volume knob, okay, and then you do have a tuning knob on the left, two big knobs. Upon getting into this car, you do need to learn this system for quite a bit. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, this car has a CD changer down there, which is so like 2010. Like who still listen to CDs nowadays? Like everybody's like having their Spotify, your CarPlay, you know. So quite interesting that you still have this feature for this car. Yeah. Okay, so moving from the front seat to the rear seat of the Toyota Crown, I do feel very special back here. I do feel comfortable. Space-wise, I think this car is strictly a 4-seater car. Why do I say that? Because if you see the middle part of the car, it has this very, very big transmission tunnel. So understandable because this car is rear wheel drive. That is where the propeller shaft is located. So this car I feel like is a strict 4-seater rather than a 5-seater. But in terms of my general overall comfort, like in terms of space, this front seat is adjusted to my driving position. I am 165 cm height. Leg room, not an issue at all, as well as headroom. Despite my spiky hair, I still have enough headroom. Okay, so material wise, I would say it's like carried forward from the front to the rear. Everything is soft touch. This is soft touch. You do have that same wood trim finish. Okay, and then towards the middle part, you do have rear aircon vents, but I'm surprised that there's no adjustment for the temperature. So it follows the same temperature setting as the front. So if you are using this car as so you are buying this car and you are the passenger and you have a driver up front for chauffeur duty, you will have to tell your driver to adjust the aircon for you, whereas some more premium car has its own setting. Now in terms of amenities, you do have dual map pockets, okay, and then you do have a center armrest, quite a big center armrest, very plush, very soft. You do have a cup holder, and then even the cover of the cup holder is soft touch, which is a bit extra, you know, a bit extra, but yeah, it's quite nice. The position of the armrest, quite a nice shape. My hand is very comfortable. The seat as well is slightly angled back, so it's quite a relaxed feel, which I do really like. For this particular car, like I said, it's the athlete variant. Everything is dark except for the headliner. The headliner is slightly grey, but yeah, you might feel a little bit of claustrophobic, but yeah, it's okay. I mean, space-wise, it's okay. You do have blinds as well. The rear one is automatic, which you can control by the switch in front, and you also have a manual blind on the side. So this one is manual, and then you have to hook it up, okay, and then you can bring it down. So quite a decent premium car. I would say it's not like premium car, you know, like S-Class like that, but it feels luxurious inside here. I would think like if you want a more premium Crown, get the Crown Majesta. That is the more premium, luxurious. It has like a beige interior. So this is definitely more of the driver's type of Crown. Yeah. So overall, back here, space is okay. Just don't carry 5 people at one time. Alright guys, so I've been driving the Toyota Crown Athlete 2.0T for a while, and first impression about this car is that I feel like I'm not driving a big car despite the size of this car. The overall, right now I'm in comfort mode. So this car has a few modes. So it has normal, eco, sport, as well as snow. So snow is irrelevant here in Malaysia because it's summer all year round. So the first thing I want to say is that the steering wheel. So the steering wheel obviously is APS. So in normal mode, it's very pleasant. Okay, it's light actually. It's quite light. Feel wise, there is a little bit of feel, but most of the time I do feel numb driving this steering wheel in normal mode. Because of this setup, like the suspension also is very comfortable despite riding on 18-inch rim. I feel like I'm not driving a big car. I feel like I'm driving somewhat of like a mid-size rather than like a full-size car. The insulation inside here is very good. I don't really hear much wind noise. Road noise also, despite being like summer performance tire, I don't really hear much wind noise, tire noise, sorry. So yeah, like in normal mode, this car is very opulent. Like you're well insulated inside this cabin. If you put the car in sport mode, so sport mode, immediately the first thing I notice is sharper throttle response, and it holds the gear longer. And not only that, suspension is stiffened up slightly, which to me is a whole package. So it actually changed the attitude of the car. Yeah, the pull power is much more apparent in sport mode. Eco mode, I did have a go in eco mode just now. Basically, it just dulls the acceleration. Like even though like accelerating, you mash the throttle, there is a little bit of delay there. It's not as responsive as the other two mode. Yeah, it just basically eco mode is just for you to save fuel. Okay. Now in terms of visibility, I would say it's quite good in this car. Looking forward is not an issue. Nice big square window. Even like going towards the back, the rear window is also nice and big. It's square, and then I like that all the headrest is very lower down, not disturbing your line of view. Now looking towards my left and right side, I would say good visibility as well. I didn't expect the A pillar and the B pillar to be this thin. Like I was expecting like a modern car, like the A pillar and the B pillar would be thicker, but no, for this car, visibility is actually quite decent, not an issue at all. And then furthermore on top of that, you have the 360 camera. So even like driving this car in tight situation, you have the camera to assist you, and the resolution also is not that bad. So talking about the engine, so this particular car is equipped with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. So it's the same engine as in the Lexus IS 200T as well as the Lexus NX 200T. So a lot of Toyota product is using this engine. And this engine is only available on the Athlete facelift. So on the Athlete pre-facelift, you were equipped with the older V6 engine. Now this is a mixed feeling for me. On the positive side, I do love the turbocharged nature of this engine. The boost is really early, so it makes the car feel very light to drive. It doesn't feel like it's a big bus. And of course, torque is quite instant, and power is the peak power of the boost comes very early on. But with that being said, you miss out on that original V6 sound. You know, like V engine, 3.5, 2.5 V6, it has that very burly sound, the multiple cylinder sound, which I always love. Like, to me, I'm a fan of that sound. It's just very nice to hear. So unfortunately, because this car now is equipped with the 4-cylinder engine, you miss out that very delicious sound from that V6. So yes, the car feels faster actually. Like, the torque in this car is at 350 Nm of torque, which is slightly more than the base 2.5 V6 on the previous pre-facelift engine. Power is there, just that in terms of excitement of sound, it's not as entertaining compared to last time when you do a full throttle. Over here, it just feels like a typical 4-cylinder engine, which is okay, I guess, you know. But I think for this engine, you do get better fuel economy. So this begs the question, this car, this Toyota Crown Athlete, it is marketed in Japan as a premium car. So, but it's wearing a Toyota badge, which again at the same time, Toyota has its own luxury division, which is the Lexus. So I don't know, like, this car sits in a very unique position. Like, it's a premium car, definitely a premium car. But yeah, like, you have this, and then where does something like a Lexus GX comes in, you know, or a Lexus ES? So where does that come in compared to this? I mean, like, both are considerably like a big sedan. The Lexus ES is a front-wheel drive. This is a rear-wheel drive. So this is aimed for what exactly? I'm not really sure. But this particular car, the Athlete, I do like it. It's like a combination of like luxury and sport. But this Crown also has two other models, which is the Crown Royal and the Crown Majesta. So the Majesta is like an ultra premium luxury sedan, you know. So I always question like that particular model against a Lexus ES or a Lexus LS. Where does that car sit, you know? So the new Crown is around the corner, and it has turned itself into a crossover, which I don't know how to feel about that. Only time will tell. Yeah, but this particular Crown, I'm a fan. I love how it looks. It's the simplicity look. I think the performance now is quite good, decent with the 2.0T. Power is instant, and overall my experience in this car is a positive thing. It's a positive experience. And yeah, this car is quite rare on Malaysian road. I don't know about in like West Malaysia, but here in Sarawak, in East Malaysia, I don't really see a lot of this model. And I only see like all of them is white, and all of them is like different spec. So yeah, it's a quite unique car here in Sarawak. I don't see many of this. Even though this owner himself also, when he purchased this car, he didn't know this car exists until he went to one of the showroom in Miri, and then he saw this car, and then yeah. Good choice, by the way. It's a really nice car. So yeah, my overall experience with the Toyota Crown, it's a good car, very premium feel. I don't know how to feel about this compared to like an E-Class or a 5 Series, for example. This definitely has like a more Japanese luxury vibe to it. It's definitely more understated. It's not as loud, I would say, as some of the luxury cars out there, and that might be a good thing for some people who wants opulent and finer things in life, but doesn't want to show it, you know? Yeah. So yeah, I have a great time in the Toyota Crown. Okay guys, we have come to the end of this video, and I do hope you enjoy watching it. So before I wrap up, on top of doing YouTube videos, I'm also actually running my own personalized polishing as well as detailing service here in my hometown of Miri, Sarawak. So if you are in the area and you wish to get your vehicles done by yours truly, do find my contacts in the description below. I would like to say thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one.